Hello, Rick's team. This video is meant to be an overview showing you how to use the new block editor on the new website so that you can make some edits and some design changes when you need to, and you don't have to come to us all the time for those. This doesn't apply to all of the pages, but to a number of them, and you'll be able to tell here when I show you which those apply to. We're going to be using this careers page as the example. So you can see here we've got a couple images and a headline and some text here with some buttons and a form. And then here on the back end you can see that we've got corresponding things that show you where those are. So an image and an image, a headline and some text, buttons. Your form, of course, is a CRM embed, so this is one piece that's code-based here. And then further down that image grid that shows up down here with some headlines and such. So if you hover over any of these items, you can see that we get this little green block that offers you a couple of options. So the first one with the 4 arrows, that lets you click and hold and drag something into another column or another row. The second one is a little pencil, and if you just hover it tells you what each of these things does. So that would be to edit it if you needed to change what this image is or the size that it appears at, etc. You just click on edit. And here you can see the image, and so you could get rid of this one and then click and find a new image in your media library if you wanted. Of course, for hitting that same button on different elements, you get different options. So here on a headline, if we click edit, you can see you get the option here for the text source to come from the page or the post title, or you can do custom text, which would give you a field here in order to put that in. And of course, if we go to the text option and click edit, there's all the text here and some very familiar, I'm sure, looking formatting tools for the alignment, adding a bulleted list, making your text bold or italics, etc. If you need to add a link to your text, you can just highlight the text that you want and come right here to this insert link tool. And then this is the simple version, but it's usually best if you come right here to link options. That would allow you to update the text here, add your URL. If it's a link that's within the site, you don't have to go and search and find it. You can just use this search tool right here, or you can click on whatever it is and it writes the link for you. So if we needed to link to the estimate page, you could just start typing that. Here's our estimate page. We can click that and it will write that link out for us up here. If you are linking to an external site, let's say for whatever reason you're going to link to Google, I would still suggest just going to that website and then copying and pasting that link in so that you know you're getting it exactly right. And then the other thing you want to do if you're linking to an outside website is to check this open link in a new tab option. That way, so once they visit the link and they close the tab, your website is still open behind that. The next item, so this is move, this is edit. The next one here is to clone or duplicate an element. So if you wanted this picture to appear on the same, further down on the page, or you've got some things set up on this image that you don't want to have to duplicate, you can just do that, drag it to where you want, and then you could just swap out the image. Same thing for a headline. If you've got a headline formatted the way you want, or a block of text formatted the way that you want, but you want to do it you want the text to be different, but the formatting to be same somewhere else. Same thing. You can just duplicate it, drag it to wherever it is that you want it to be, and then you can update whatever it is there that needs to be different from where it was before. If you're going to add a brand new element within here, you can see you've got these little plus symbols. So you can come in here and add a new item. A lot of these are pretty self-explanatory. I think most of the time you're probably just going to need text block. Again, there's search function here to search out any of these items. So there's a text block, there's a headline, there's images. You can add a button. If you do have some particular questions about what some of these things do, you feel free to ask, of course. The other way to test it out is you can create a new page and keep it in draft mode, and you can try some of these things out on here and see what they do if you're curious or you just want to toy around with it a little bit. If you ever are making edits to the page and you do something that you don't want to save, really all you have to do is not hit this update button. So you can see I've been fiddling around with this page, and what if I did this and did this and did this, and I don't remember anymore where those things should have gone, and I don't want to save this. All I have to do is just refresh the page. Just keep in mind that you're going to lose any and all of your changes in between the last time you hit this update button. So we can just hit refresh here, and all of those items will go back to exactly the way they were when we first visited here, unless we had hit the update sometime in between. So I showed you how to add and edit these items that are within the rows, but you can also edit the rows themselves. So let's say, for instance, you wanted a third picture up here going across. So what we can do, you can see there's this little fractional thing here, and we've got some little indicators for how those are, and if you hover over it, it'll show you what those are. You can also hand type them out if there's one that's not the way that you want. It does have to fit the options available for the fractions available on that, but yeah, so you can't do just anything and everything. You can't do 16ths or whatever. But so let's say we did want to add a third one. We could come right here. We can see 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3. We just click that. You can see that it's now divided this, somewhat like an Excel document. It's divided this row into thirds rather than halves. And as we were just discussing before, we could just duplicate this, drag it over, and then swap out the image for whatever one we want, so that we've got the formatting the same on all three of these images, and then we'd have 3 across. If you want to delete something, it's this X button. So if you want to delete a whole row, it's right here. If you want to just delete a specific item, it's just right there. Just delete single image, it says, you'll see. You can do it just like that. We can take this back to half and half, just like that. Just as I was showing you that these single items can be moved from column to column or row to row, these full rows can also be moved around. So if we wanted this headline and text to be above these images, all we'd have to do is just drag that up, and there it is. We've flip-flopped them. Again, none of these things get updated on the front end of the site until you hit this update button over here. So you can see I've made changes, but I haven't saved them yet. So everything here on the front end is staying exactly the same until I hit that. For these next couple of items, I've moved on to another page, so we're now on the main community support page that has some features that weren't displayed on the careers page we were looking at. You can see here we've got some red lines top and bottom, some gray shading here together, and we've also got what we're going to call nested rows. So if we come back here to edit it, you can see that this row has a red line top and bottom and gray shading. And you can also see that there's a row here that's divided in half, nested within a row that's just one all the way across. You can see these two things. So this one is just 1/1, and this one is 1/2 plus 1/2, and it's within this. So for the row, there are formatting options available if you come right over here and you edit the row. Click on that. And then if we come right over here to design options under it, you can see that we've got options for margin, we've got options for a border, border color, border style. And so that's how those were applied. The border color does have to be by the hex number. So I don't know, you can get the plugin that I've got here. You know, I've got a little Chrome plugin that you can use to sample a color and know what it is. Or you can use whatever tool it is that you want to, you know, if you want to use Photoshop or something to figure out what those are. This is just really handy if you're going to be doing this kind of stuff very often. So when you're looking at these three things, you can see there's margin, and it's margin top, margin bottom, margin left, margin right, and then the same for borders. Border, top, bottom, left, right. They've shaded these differently so it's easier to distinguish what they are. And then padding. So the margin is what it will do, what it will push everything away from this element. So the margin means above this red border color, things are going to be that far away from it. And then the border itself, that's the pixel width of that border. And then the padding, nothing's been set here. There's some default that comes with it, but that would be from the edge of your element to the next thing inside. That's the padding. Padding's here on the inside, margins on the outside. And then here is the background color, and again, that's for this right here. You can do some, if you come right here to the row stretch and you say stretch row, let's just show you what that does real quick. I don't think we're using this in too many places on the site, but that's what will make it go all the way across like this rather than respect the margins. So I just saved that change. We're going to refresh it here. So now you can see that both the lines and the color go all the way, no matter what the width of your browser or device is. So again, we'll come right back over here and we'll check this out. So you just want to choose stretch row to get that. If you say stretch row in content, then you know this video would go all the way over to the edge and the text will run all the way over. So just stretch row or default is what you're going to want to do for that. We'll put it back on default. We'll hit update here. We'll refresh it, and we've got it back to where it was before. You can see further down the page here we have a video inserted. That's a very simple one to do. You can add these to any page. So you've got this video player element, and you literally just put the link in right here. So if you wanted to add that to another page, again, you just have your row. You just say, click that add button, and right here is our video player. You'd click it. You know, you can put in whatever. You can put it in from Vimeo or from YouTube. So yeah, you can save it. You could move that video wherever you want. Let's see if we hit update here. We've now got a second video down here. Take that out right away here. Gone. For these funds and hours donated thermometers, or whatever we want to call them, it's very simple to edit those. You can see those two items right here. Come in and click the pencil, and you can just update this donated to date amount, and it will automatically change the number here and put in the correct fraction to scale it up here behind our goal. I think that really should get you a long ways in being able to make some updates and design changes to these pages when you need to and want to. Let me know if I missed something specific, or you want something more expanded, and we can work one of those up for you. Thank you so much.